Found this video on Twitter months ago, meant to bookmark it, forgot about it, and now I just found it again. A gem of a video. We're going to be laughing at this dude, making fun of him a little bit. The title of the video is called White Guy in Japan is Furious because convenience store workers don't speak English to him. Now, as you can see, first of all, we're not going to even get into the video right now. We're just looking at the front thumbnail. You can see, gentleman is real red. He's red as lobster. Must be summer in Japan, real hot. And he's already fucking up in the first place because he's at Lawson. Lawson, the bottom, the worst of the big three convenience stores in Japan. You know, we got Family Mart, 7-Eleven, and Lawson. And don't get me wrong, Lawson's alright. But he's at Lawson already. So he's already, he might be in a bad mood just because he's at Lawson. He's bright red. He's sweaty. Looks like he's overwhelmed. He looks like a pudgy, stone cold Steve Austin. He looks like Cold Stone Steve Austin. He looks like Cold Stone Steve Austin. Shout out to Cold Stone Creamery, by the way. Love me some Cold Stone Creamery. And he's upset, so I think he's going to get into some complaining here. Let's see what he has to say. Without further ado.
This may not aggravate a lot of you, but it does aggravate me since I've been in Japan for so long. It's when they have a foreigner work at a place like this Larson.
Is that his real voice?
It does aggravate me since I've been in Japan for so long. It's when they have a foreigner work at a place like this Larson. Now,
He called it a larson. L-A-W-S-O-N, not L-A-R-S-O-N, buddy. I don't work at this Larson. Maybe he's just got an accent. Where's this guy from? Does anybody know where this guy's from? Does anybody know like what this guy's account is, where he's posting originally? Give him a shout out if he does. Maybe get him some followers or something, but I don't know. But anyways, he's in front of Larson here. He's real red. He's bright red.
Work at a place like this Larson. Now, this Larson is one of the worst out of all the places I go to. You walk in as a foreigner. They don't know you, but they start speaking Japanese to you. And you speak...
Holy shit. Dude, they started speaking Japanese to you. Oh my god, are you okay? Oh my... Wait. They started speaking Japanese to you? Are you serious? Did we forget that we're in Japan? He's real troubled. He's real troubled because person in Japan spoke Japanese to him.
English to them, and they continue insisting on speaking Japanese.
Alright, already, we're 22 seconds into this video. He has said, this Larson, seems like he's been to it many times. This is one of the worst, he says. He said he's been to Japan a long time. He's complaining that someone's speaking Japanese to him in Japan. He's been in Japan a long time. If you've been in Japan a long time, you don't speak any Japanese, buddy? Whose fault is that? Additionally, going to Larson, of all places, not the highest level Japanese. What are they going to ask you? Do you need a bag? Atatamemasu ka? Rejibukuro irimasu ka? Not very hard, bro. All you have to say is daijoubu desu to like 5 different questions. Not very hard. If he's been in Japan such a long time, and you can't figure out how to say daijoubu desu to like 5 different questions, I don't know, bro. I don't know whose fault that is. He's still bright red. Still bright red, by the way.
If you ask them about it, they'll say, oh, Koko wa Nihon. This is Japan.
Holy shit. Damn, they ain't lying either.
Well, I'm sorry. I just heard you speaking to your coworker in your language. You don't know that I speak Japanese.
In your language. First of all, do we know that your language, meaning the person working in the convenience store, do we know that your language is English? Not always English. He's assuming that all foreigners here speak English. Not all foreigners here speak English. Additionally, if it's anything like my workplace, I work at a restaurant here. I speak Japanese at the restaurant where I work. Sometimes they have rules. Hey, we're not going to go up to people and just start speaking a foreign language to them, just assuming they don't speak Japanese. That could turn into a racism lawsuit real quick, especially if you're from the States someone comes up to you and automatically changes what language they're speaking to you. It's not the language of the country to just assume that you speak a certain language. Now, I wouldn't be a fan of it, but that could turn into some type of racism issue real quick. So let's see what he has to say still.
You don't know that I speak
You
Japanese.
don't know that you speak
Stop
Japanese. Nobody knows what any language anybody else speaks, but when nobody knows what language you speak or what language I speak, and we are in a country that has a national language, what's the best bet? You're never wrong to attempt speaking Japanese to someone in Japan. Now, may it be the best option? No, but it is never wrong to attempt speaking Japanese to someone in Japan. Or for that matter, any country that you're in that has a national language, that has a language that 90+% of the people speak, you are never wrong by approaching them initially in that language. The entitlement is brazy.
Speak Japanese to Japanese.
Speak Japanese to
Stop.
Japanese. You know what? I went to a Japanese language school here, and you know what really pisses off a lot of foreigners here? A lot of foreigners that speak Japanese? It's when people come up to them and they speak in English or they speak in a different language because they assume, they profile them, they discriminate them, and they assume that they don't understand Japanese, that they worked so hard for so long to learn, to fit in here. And then someone comes up to you and they just see that you're not a Japanese person. They come up and they just start speaking English to you. This person's like, wow, dude, I've lived here for 20 years. I've done my absolute best to integrate, to become part of the culture, to learn the language. And then everywhere I go, people are still just speaking English to me. They're speaking broken, terrible English to me. It makes that person feel like they're not welcome here. Now, I mean, for me, I don't really care. Whatever is easiest, if you're just trying to speak English to me because you think it's going to make my life easier, hey, I appreciate that. That's nice. But I'm going about my day either way. I don't really give a fuck about something dumb like this. So, this guy's a dinosaur. Look how old this dude is. If you're this old, you should be over shit like this, right? I'm in my 20s, dude. I was over this in high school. I remember thinking, like, dude, little shit like this, don't let it bother you. It does not matter. Don't you think that by the time that you are this guy's age, however fucking old this dude is, you should be over shit like this. You shouldn't be letting shit like this bother you. It's just part of the human development. Apparently not for everyone. Apparently not for everyone.
And they insist on keep speaking Japanese.
Because we're in Japan.
Now, in addition to that, there's a line of 3 or 4 people behind
In addition to that, you know what this dude looks like? He looks like the Muffin Man. I don't even know what the Muffin Man looks like. But when I've heard stories about the Muffin Man, I imagine it being something like this. This is what, like, if you told me like a story about an evil villain, and maybe he was like stealing muffins from people or something like that. This is what I imagine. A guy that looks like this. This is the Muffin Man.
Now, in addition to that, there's a line of 3 or 4 people behind us, and I hear her speaking Japanese to them, and her Japanese isn't as bad as mine.
Why is your Japanese so bad if you've lived here for so many years? Dude, I've lived here for 2.5 years. 2.5 years. I understand everyone's rate of learning is different. Everyone has different access to resources, whether that be money to pay for language school, whatever it be. But you can study on your own. I know so many people who never went to language school, never went to college in Japanese, and they have taken the time to study a little bit each day as they've lived here in Japan, and they speak Japanese to an okay level. I'm pretty fluent in Japanese. I've lived here for like 2.5 years, man. This dude's a fucking old fuck. And he says he's lived here for so long, and he can't even get through an experience at the convenience store in Japanese. Victim mindset.
But I mean, come on. Speak English to the foreigners and speak Japanese to the Japanese.
How about do whatever the fuck you want to do, and I'll survive either way. Because some little dumb shit like this, it's not going to inconvenience me. Dude, if you are a grown adult and you're going to Lawson and someone speaks Japanese to you at Lawson when you live in Japan, and it's ruining your day to the point where you have to make a video like this and put it out onto the internet crying, he's all red, He's got his fucking his blood pressure's high. His heart. He's about to pass out in front of the Larson. You hear? You know. He just had too many Nikuman in front of the Larson. Now he's about to pass out. Come on, buddy.
Stop trying to treat me like I'm Japanese from the get-go when you don't know who I am. Foreigners
Believe
like
me, nobody thinks you're Japanese, buddy. It's not what we're worried about.
Me like I'm Japanese.
Like I'm Japanese from the get-go.
Who I am. Foreigners walk in, you don't know if I'm a tourist. Treat me like a tourist.
So many foreigners here are angry that they get treated like tourists, right? Back me up, guys, back me up. There are foreigners here, not Japanese by blood. Foreigners here, whether they be from Asia, anywhere, and they grew up here, their first language is Japanese, and they struggle with this every single day. When they go to the store, when they go to the kuyakusho, immediately everybody starts trying to speak English to them. They're like, dude, I've lived here my entire life. Japanese is my first language. How do you think that makes those people feel? How do you think that makes those people feel? Unwelcome? Yeah. Now this guy's here saying, treat me like a tourist. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Foreigners walk in, you don't know if I'm a tourist. Treat me like a tourist. Speak English.
All right. So, I mean, you get the gist of the video. This guy's a huge beta victim, more or less. Guys, let me tell you something. Let me leave you with something right here. Victims worry about changing how other people do things. Victims worry about trying to change the world around them, trying to change how other people act. Leaders, heroes, strong men, strong people, we focus on what we can change in ourselves, how we can change our personality, how we can not let other people's actions affect us. Now this guy here, this is the definition of what a victim is. And man, you might just need to learn how to change something in yourself, change your environment. Maybe you need to get the fuck out of Japan. If a little inconvenience at the grocery store or at the convenience store like this is giving you such a hard time that you got to go on to Twitter or wherever you are, making an angry video, bright red, about to pass out, your voice is getting all high pitched. I went here for another Larson. You might just need to go home to wherever you're from. So, I don't know, guys. Tell me what you think. Should we look at some of the comments here? Let's see what some of the comments on Twitter say. Treat me like a tourist. Okay, deport. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Been in Japan for so long, wants to be treated like a tourist. What is this strategy called? Right? We're not your servant. When in France, I try to speak French. Yeah, I mean, all the people in the comments get it too. I mean, hopefully I'm not the only one who thinks this. I mean, I don't know if anyone actually is on this dude's side. If you are, let me know. Don't be afraid to speak up. Say something in the comments. But regardless, this is Young James. Going to be reacting to some more videos. Guys, send me videos if you have something funny for me to react to. It doesn't have to be about Japan. It can be about anything. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. My name is Young James. If you guys want to join the Discord, send me $5 on PayPal. Donations are always appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Hit me up on Instagram or something. All right, take care, y'all.